starting work for the last time. I am so excited about this new chapter in my life, but I am like in awe that I am no longer an employee at that hospital, and that starting Monday, I'm going to be going to work in a completely different place. This is absolutely wild. Oh my God. Okay, so this is gonna be kind of confusing because the clip that I thought I recorded got deleted. And so to recap, you just saw my last day of work leaving my hospital. I was emotional, I was excited, I felt sad, and then going forward, I just did my first day of my new job. So you're just gonna hear some of my thoughts on transitioning out of one job into another job. I, for recap, got a position at a hospital. I'm working as a medical SLP, both inpatient and outpatient, and just moved to be closer to friends, closer to family, closer to Jonathan. And I didn't think I was going to be leaving my clinical fellowship position right after I got my C's, but things just work out that way, and I am incredibly thankful for this new position. And that's basically all I remember saying. I'm recording this the day that I'm editing this video, so I don't really know what I said or thought I wanted to say, but I needed to add the clip in there because it was confusing. But enjoy the rest of the video. Like I was saying, I hope this is not too noisy in the background. I am so grateful for them, and I definitely made it a point when I was choosing to leave and that transition out is to not burn any bridges, and making sure that my mentors were and my team members, I love working with them, and they're wonderful human beings, and I didn't want it to come off at all that I was burning bridges or something against them or that they did. And it was a huge learning lesson for me to try to approach that in the most professional, responsible way possible. And I really recommend that to anyone when they're finishing up, whether it's their fellowship year, whether it's even just a clinical rotation in grad school, is however much time you have at a company, and if you're leaving that facility, end on a good note. Don't slack the last, once you put your notice in, start slacking, start showing up late, start, having random days called off. Work to your professional license until you walk out of that building, because it's not polite and it's not professional to just say hey, I put in my notice, I'm gonna start slacking now. That wasn't an option for me, because I'm just setting an expectation of no matter what building I work in, no matter, there was no bad bridges with those people, but even if there was, I personally would hold myself to a standard of professionalism until I'm done there. But that's my little life update. A lot of you were asking about my clinical fellowship year and my thoughts on it, and when I think back about my fellowship year, I can't help but smile and think about, obviously there was some random times at work I didn't want to be there, or there was drama going on, or I didn't want to be covering that unit. But I grew so much in this last year, not only as a professional, but also as an individual, and just growing into myself, into my confidence of I am young in the field, but I am confident in my clinical abilities, and I am going to talk to, even just learning interpersonal skills and talking to people who you've never talked to before, or 20 years older than you and are a badass surgeon, and you're I'm going to give you education and my recommendations, and I'm going to stick to them, and I'm going to be confident and just putting myself in uncomfortable situations and just trusting, this may sound cheesy, but trusting God and trusting who he calls me in the midst of work days has completely changed my perspective in and out of work, and even carrying into this new job. When I took my clinical fellowship year, it was job starting that job was kind of secure for me, because I already knew how the hospital worked since I already had been working there for 6 months. So taking this job in the last week and a half and just not knowing anyone there, not knowing the hospital system. Like, I didn't even step foot into the hospital. Like, my interview was at an outpatient clinic until day 1. So, like, there was a lot at stake that I was very just like, I have no clue what this is going to look like. But I just I just noticed something about my coffee table. I just trusted that, like, the person that God has created me, and the confidence and the, ability to learn and to adapt and to just tap into who I am and walk into my new place of employment that way. Like, I was not that confident last year at this time when I was working and figuring things out. So my clinical fellowship year, like, I grew a ton, and I would hope that that's a year that everybody realizes that you're going to grow a lot, and it's okay to enjoy your fellowship spot. And if they offer you positions, stay there. That's right for you. If you're halfway through your fellowship and you're trying to figure out other places to work, like, go and do that. Like, don't burn bridges when you are switching jobs and switching periods, and don't switch jobs super often. I don't recommend that, but I'm recommending, like, pursue what's best for you and, like, do it in the most professional manner, because I'm, yes, only a week and a half into this new job, but I'm very content both in and outside of work. Enough about the ramble. Let's talk about some other things that no one tells you about when you try to find a new job in the healthcare field. Is that in my last job, I could wear, like, any color scrubs I wanted to. Well, at this new one, I'm kind of limited to, like, a teal, like this color teal. It shows up more blue on camera, but it's more teal, or like a bright teal and black. Nurses wear navy, so, like, that's not recommended for therapy to wear. So that's something to, like, if you're a clinical fellow and you're like, oh, FIGS has all these cool colors, I want this and I want that and that, like, I'm not saying don't buy all of them, but, like, also be aware that, like, if you are thinking you're only going to be in your fellowship for, like, 1 year, then, like, you may get a job somewhere else that has more limitation and, like, scrub options. With that being said, I ordered a pair of scrubs off of Poshmark, and something else I would recommend if you're concerned about spending a ton of money on scrubs, like Poshmark, or, like, there's, like, 19,000 Facebook marketplaces. The Facebook pages are way too confusing for me, so I just use Poshmark. But I got a pair of black scrubs, and I think, like, from FIGS, and I think I paid in total for this whole set, like, $50, maybe $55, which is still a lot, but, like, that's a significant difference than if I bought these new. So, I got 2 styles of black scrubs that, like, I always wear this one pocket scrub top, and then the, Ironman, I'm losing my pants, but the, like, whatever jogger scrubs. And so that's what my black ones are. And so I was like, I kind of need, like, a different style, and I want another black pair of scrubs. So I got these, I think they're, like, the Livingston style. They're, like, the straight-legged scrubs, which I don't know if I'm going to like them, because I really like the jogger ones, but I need to switch it up. So I got a pair of those, and they also only have, I'm going to tell you this right now, this is going to be my biggest barrier with these scrubs, is they only have back pockets. And your girl has a lot of stuff in her pockets at work. So, and then I got one of these scrubs, tops that, I don't know, I just feel like a samurai person when they wear them, but one of the ones that's, like, this in the collar, Oh, there's lint on this. I need to wash these before I wear them. But you know what I mean. One of the ones that are, like, I don't know, it goes up in your collar, and then there's 2 pockets on the side. It would have just been so much better if I tried these on for the camera, but I got some new scrubs to wear to work. I'm gonna do some laundry tonight so I can wear them tomorrow, because I've just been switching off between 2 different scrubs every day. I don't want to change that. Obviously, like, some other life updates that I'm, like, just going through is, like, I moved to the same town Jonathan lives in, which is fantastic because, one, instead of being like 2 hours apart, he literally lives a mile away. We already have a church here. He's here. We already have a friend group here. So like we're already involved in a community group together through church. And then we have friends in that group. And like I already have like multiple friends here and his friends here. And we have like a friend group. So like hanging out with people has been such a blessing. Not that I didn't have that in Gainesville, but like it just looked very different post grad, and also looked very different like being in this town visiting Jonathan like every other weekend. Like I knew doing a long distance relationship, like there was going to be a sacrifice with some of my friends in Gainesville, and not that it was a bad sacrifice at all. Like I was completely like okay with that in that season of life, but it is really nice to be here now and not having that sacrifice and just like being steady here. But with that said, like I would be lying if I said like I really miss like one of the hardest things about leaving Gainesville besides my work is that like one of my best friends, like Hannah, is there, and just like having some friends there that like you can call and just be like, hey, come over like and watch like TV with me and just like veg, and it's no pressure and it's not an effort situation. Whereas like some of the girls here, like I'm not talking bad about them at all, like I really like them, it's just like our friendship hasn't progressed to the point where it's like come over to my house and like let's watch a show together and let's not really talk about things or just chit chat like aimlessly, versus like it takes more effort. And I really do miss that part of living like near your best friend and having another long distance friendship. It's not the most fun thing, but it is what it is. So if you're my friends and you're watching this, you know who you are. I think you should move here. So that way, that solves the problem. I'm just going to put that out there. Oh my gosh, how could I have not forgot to tell you guys this? Almost like, besides moving, a huge life update is that it's less than 2 weeks until my Ironman. I mean, guys, today is May 3rd. There's 11 days until 10 days. 10 days until my Ironman. I'm officially in taper, which means that I'm like, my workouts are slowing down. They're not as intense. Next week is going to be so chill, and then it's race day. Every time I think about this, I think about how I'm not prepared for it, but we're going to get there, folks. We are going to be mentally prepared and packed and ready to go. Oh no, my battery's dying. How rude of my, camera battery to just decide to go quitsy on me. Well, I grabbed a new battery. I also grabbed this cookie. Is this how the people do it these days? That was the most boomer statement I could have said. Anyways, I don't have a Trader Joe's near me anymore, but I went to Trader Joe's this weekend in Tampa because I went biking there and I got some of these cookies. These are so good. These are like the almond chocolate chip cookies from Trader Joe's, and so good. Ironman training. So we are winding down, folks. I also, with that being said, have a new pool to train at, and so this whole issue with my headaches and like feeling like I'm gonna die after my swim workouts has gone away because my new pool is outside and the water is like 90,000 times colder than the pool back in Gainesville. So we are happy about that. Yes. So all I really got for the rest of the day, I have this plant. Here she is. I have this plant. I've had this plant for maybe 3 years now. And Jonathan had to go back to his parents' house, long story short, for a month. And then it's been at his house because his house got better light than my house. Anyways, it basically started dying at Jonathan's house over the last Ew. That's disgusting. Last night I had this on my counter and there's this crusty thing of avocado that just fell out. Oh, I don't like that. It was brown and mushy because I had avocado last night. Anyways, this was at Jonathan's house. It died. Long story short, I'm not mad at him. He just forgot about it because he was living at his parents for a month. And I bought new potting soil. So long story short, I am going to repot this tonight. I am going to eat this cookie. I am going to ride my bike in my indoor trainer. And then I'm going to go for a walk. So that's what I got planned. Nothing too crazy, but I wanted to give you guys an update. Thanks for coming along. I think that like moving forward, this content's going to be even like more interesting than just me being like, day in my life as my clinical fellow, SLP. It's like, you're guys going to be able to see some like outpatient and inpatient stuff and what like a medical SLP looks like, both inpatient and outpatient. And I think that's pretty cool and unique. So just tag along, continue to follow. You don't want to miss upcoming content, including my thoughts on my Ironman. So thanks for watching, guys.